Hello? God? Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, I've been waiting for. Okay. Like, there's this one thing that you did that it's just really pissed me off. I honestly think it is just so stupid. I know you're God, and I know I'm not.
It's nice to see this dehydrated zombie still a functioning member of society. I bet she shoved a pine cone up her rectal chute and called herself the Dynamax Nutter. Your nose looks like Elvis from Raggedy Tail if your diet was masturbating with a stick of kale. Mascanata looking ass. You're shaped like a crippled mantis and your titty sandals are out here looking like a plain sandwich. Your entire body's morphed like a pampered chef microscrapper and your saggy fish tea bags are looking like a piece of pita bread. Bitch has an entire tic-tac-toe maze of wrinkles and crevice lines that's making her look like Metro Transit points. There's no way this crusty scarecrow is healthy. You got tortilla pads for melon flaps, angel-haired pasta to cover bald gaps, forehead stretching across to another multiverse. It's about to open a portal to the underworld. Your body's built like the spinal centipede founding titan after a third round of Rice Krispie cereal. What is up, hags and peanut bags? I'm sure there's no need for an introduction to this fossilized skeleton, but for the 3 strawberry seeds watching, I'll give you the short Alice in Wonderland's BBC PowerPoint Snyder Cut about why Madame Foster turned into a vegan monster. Her humble upbringing started because she got fired from teaching, I assume because she spotted an infant eating a Big Mac, and she Freddy Cougared the kid by shoving 12 cabbage balls down his throat and made a beautiful steak out of his steaming corpse to protect the animals.
Eat your vegetables!
And from then on, this naked beaver started wandering the jungle looking for any more hostages she can abduct to join her planned crusade. Also, you know how there is a stereotype that all Canadians are nice? Yeah, that's a big fat fucking lie. The Blair Witch over here will publish the 2nd season to Hiroshima just to prove to the world that eating grass is what Steve Rogers would have wanted. She's like Martha from Outlast 2. If she can even smell your fart trail from across the Mexican border, she's gonna come down there and slice you a new vagina with a pickaxe. You built like a disjointed meerkat and your skin got more dust and dandruff than a doormat. Her neck is longer than Miss Brain from Little Nightmares 2. You look like a skinned wheat bix. Her skin is drier than a snapping turtle shell, and her juggle nuggles looks like the back of a roly-poly. You're like the long-lost Jurassic cousin of a cocaine monkey lizard. Your demonic face looks like the evil granny, and your entire physique reminds me of Nick Lanky. I bet she can even smell the KFC before it starts sizzling with that combo-style donkey nose. I'm half expecting her to start shooting bowling pins like she's a pea shooter from Playing vs. Zombies with that herbivore snout. She's the spin-off Radagon boss from Elden Ring called Miss Wrinkler, because I'm not even sure how in the orange, blue, purple fuck this mole rat has lived for this long without being put in a sarcophagus. She's practically melting away as we speak. She's gonna be walking around retail stores looking like the shriveled up stick figure selling chocolate lady. Attention shoppers, the slit-mouthed woman is talking to an acorn in aisle 16. Please call poison control and have a terrible rest of your day. This woman's brain is also practically running on airplane mode because she can't even speak coherently for 3 milliseconds without short-circuiting more than a fax machine. Every time she lets out a verbal queef, she has an olive that just runs marathons around her empty head like Saturn rings just so she can accidentally regurgitate a single adjective, and then she's back to another 1 hour cooldown. It's like her memory factory resets like she got hit by a coconut with a zit on it. You put a condom on your nose during Halloween to cosplay the squid off of Super Mario Bros. I'm convinced her nostril has a clan of possums running an anti-smoking business. That motherfucker be looking like a Jenga block. Every time she sneezes, she goes, ah. So while this demented flat-titted revenant from God of War is busy casting some Latin spell upon you, I would like to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the skeleton in the tomb. My theory as to what Doctor Strange black magic she's using to keep herself from falling into a million pieces without stitching her carcass with paper clips. She probably just swallows a light bulb to give her body the proper vitamins she needs. I bet my left testicle she covers every part of her skin with orange peels to avoid the sun, but this woman alone, who sounds like his feet scratcher if it could talk, will make even the hairiest of Spartan Vikings piss their trousers in utter fear. If anything, somebody needs to piss on her, cause she's about to fucking decompose. To this spool noodle, if you aren't even licking the algae crumbs off a crimson log, you are a disgusting devil that deserves to open his last fortune cookie inside the brazen bowl. Like, how are you gonna tell people that you're an S-tier professor in veganism when you practically look like the Hag Raven from Skyrim? You're like Slenderman if your only food source was gulping down a half-eaten banana chip sitting under your mattress. Bitch is skinnier than the ley lines on Google Maps. Her head looks like an expired umbrella leaf. She's like a Pokemon slowly evolving into a vegetable. She even has the brain of one, so she's making remarkable progress in that sense. Your face got run over by a John Deere lawnmower, and that crustaceous porcupine got fried with a leaf blower. It's like she shampoos her hair with egg whites. Hell, it looks like a moldy dandelion. If she shaked her head once, shit would probably look like an avalanche of frosted flakes raining down like a gift-shopped snow globe. This old decaying fecal matter infestation has the cervix stripes of a crusty sock. You're a congested dirty fuck. Your head is an ugly Minecraft stone block. Your face looks like a monkey Funko Pop. Your nose is shaped like a vector rock. Silver the Hedgehog if he was a discount DoorDash frog.
So I asked my husband, who would you rather have sex with? That vegan nurse, that meat teacher Ms. Tofu, or me? And his response was...
I would rather shove my dick in a pencil sharpener while drinking a cappuccino semen smoothie from Chris Shane's toilet plunger instead of moving my eye lobes in your direction. You know, maybe Stevie Wonder didn't have it that bad. I'm starting to understand why emos existed back in the day, because the last thing I would want is getting chased around like it's a game of Temple Run by Funtime Chica, fidget spinning around her saggy deflated donut wheels just to get me to join her next album, The Justice League of Herbs and Weed. Hell, I'm pretty sure your pepperoni nips are doing jumping jacks every time you climb a set of stairs, so yeah, her grand Darman speech that will make your pubes flicker and your stomach let out a liver is that being vegan is the true savant to losing your virginity. So the first order of business is to start planting your seed and queefing on weed. There's no greater sensation than having intercourse with a Brussels sprout. Hang on a second. Her nose looks like a mushroom, and her hair is like a cauliflower, and her dribbled up Fiesta airbags are like 2 lily pads. Yeah, it checks out. It all makes sense now why she has a fetish for plants, because she's practically mutated into one. Case closed. I'm out here like Sherlock, sniffing out Scooby-Doo footsteps until I find the real villain who stole my grandma's undies. Let's carry on forward before she finds out I'm the one who did it. Interesting lesson. I've truly learned a lot from this class. I can now finally put an AK-50 inside my gullet.
Whoa, 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 onion, mushroom, and tomato. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What a truly beautiful feast. There is nothing I like more than a fresh plate of dog puke mixed in with a few turd chops and a sprinkle of Master Splinter's toenails laced in for texture. Truly a meal that Gordon Ramsay would not even dare smell in case he contracts herpes.
Some animals eat other animals. But buffalo, who are among the strongest animals, and elephants? Do you ever wonder how they get to be so big? Giraffes get so tall. All they do is eat leaves. So maybe I'm right.
Do you sniff shoes by the hour? How in the diabolical butt-splitting fuck does that make sense? Hold up, let's twiddle around with that logic for a moment. If I start eating a puffer fish, am I gonna grow 8 limbs and piss out grape soda from my colon? If I chew on a banana, I'm gonna morph back to my cousins? A cheetah is the fastest animal in the world. If I eat a gazel's kneecaps, am I gonna turn into Polka Dot Man? Also, the biggest actual animal in the whole wide world is a blue whale, and they eat fish, so checkmate on all accounts. Also, you're the last single living individual, if that's called living to you, to talk when even your glasses somehow have more muscle mass ratio than you do.
Same thing for little piglets. Nobody wants to hurt a little baby pig.
Well, if it tastes good, it goes in my belly, so I'll happily grab my ketchup bottle.
To animal rights. Okay, we're not talking about welfarism. You know what that is? It's when you say, well, as long as we treat the animals well, we can kill them at the end. I used to think like that too, until I woke the F up.
Yeah, it looks like you've woken up from a goddamn morgue. Holy shit.
Meanwhile, you are stabbing and eating animals. It's bullshit. You cannot do that. With a straight face.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Okay, I'm not sure if you're aware, but it's not like we are killing them if they're already dead. Second of all, we aren't slicing them limb from limb, slowly tearing apart their furs with duct tape or super gluing their organs back together again just to remove it. It's usually a quick decapitation where the animal doesn't even feel a thing. So I don't know what incarnation all of this is coming from. Sure, some places are less humane, but the majority have to give them healthy lifestyles for them to even have any nutritional value. So you're wrong yet again. I think the craziest part is savage animals would have never given you that same luxury of a peaceful death that you're lecturing people for doing it in a significantly better way.
You can't stab animals and kick them or pay somebody to do that and then give out money and look like a great guy.
Okay, go ahead and ask a tiger that. I'm sure he'll love having a respectful conversation with you while he's chewing your face off and using your spine as a saxophone.
He needs to be vegan, fully vegan. He needs to stop eating eggs, stop drinking milk, stop eating cheese, and stop eating animals. Stop paying for the abuse. Put veggies, fruits, nuts, and seeds in your shopping cart because peace begins on your plate. So open up your heart. Be vegan.
No.
Watch don'twatch.org.
Woman, I don't care about saving the planet or being healthy. If food good, it goes in stomach. This Windex guzzling hybrid dweevo from Pinkman 2 can make a dubstep hip-hop remix with a number of bones creaking if she even so much as twitches a muscle, cause she's out here looking like a homeless African midget that needs to lick the expired chili off her walls for her Ramadan supper and drink out bottles of sewage water that 2 raccoons pissed in, just so she can unlock the 1-calorie achievement. I can wager a few kidney stones you're recording this with 17 IV bags shoved up your asshole, just so you can move a finger without it floating into the shadow realm, just so you can hit the record button on your Windows XP walkie-talkie camera. I'm even more shocked that you're breathing in the same wind as you and I. Like, good grief, it's like you bribed Quan Chi to put your soul back into place since you're like a gender-swapped golem from Lord of the Rings.
Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you. Woo-hoo. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to you.
You are a rare breed of stupid that it goes way beyond the stupid we know into a whole different dimension of stupid.
We create them to begin with. Chickens, cows, pigs, turkeys. It's horrific how we treat them. We need a vegan world. I am a vegan grandmother, and I want to save the planet for my grandchildren.
You know what? Let me jump in the kiddie pool with you and play around with the idea of turning the world vegan. We have around 3 trillion trees in total. An average-sized plane produces about 120 milliliters of oxygen per day, which can be lower during the night, but we'll round it up to 120 to keep it easy to follow. Because I know seeing zeros on your screen is something that will already make your brain fume like a chimney. Humans need about 550 liters of oxygen per day, which can also vary depending on the person. Now let's count it all out. In a year, a plane produces 42,300 milliliters of oxygen. In liters, that would be 42.3. And the amounts we consume is a shocking 198,000 liters of oxygen. That is a significant margin considering we have more planes than humans. Keep all this in mind. Now in this hypothetical scenario, if all 7.8 billion people decided to eat nothing but veggies, we would go extinct in only 100 years. That's not even an estimate, it's a guarantee. Because if you rub 2 brain molecules together, you would realize how much this would harm the structure of how things are supposed to operate. Little creatures like insects feed off plants. Reptiles eat bugs. Bigger animals eat the little reptiles, and it goes up into the food chain until it eventually reaches us. If we decided to feed every human being no meat, not only would that demand be higher than the supply, since remember, a lot of herbivores like giraffes, elephants, deers, rhinos, and horses, etc. need plants to live. Some rely on them as their homes, like birds, and we humans use the trees to build houses, like walls and the precious roof under your head. Trees that a lot of animals need to feed off of, like giraffes. If everyone ate nothing but plants, we would be speedrunning our own demise, because remember, bees need plants. If that's gone, no more insects, meaning no more production of many plants, so no more reptiles after that. And then it would eventually carry on to bigger animals until it reaches us. And if anything, I would argue this method would be far more cruel, since now animals will have to agonizingly and painfully starve day by day as they are clinging on to the last droplets of grass. You would torture every animal in existence to make the earth vegan, and it wouldn't even end well even after that. Even after all the grass eaters vanished off the earth, the level of air would deplete a lot, that our lifespans would get shorter, and without a lot of plants to keep replenishing us with them, it will lead to inevitable death, to both human and animal. As a matter of fact, we have a real-life example of this. In China, they no longer have bees, so they are actively facing a crisis with the lack of clean air and even plant-based foods, since now they have to convert pollen manually, which is a task we aren't built for, considering bees don't go through puberty. They are born adults by default to keep the momentum of nature going. Nobody's claiming that what we do isn't morally questionable, but this is an argument of would you kill 1 million people to save 1 billion, since no matter what we do, the result will be bad. The latter is true. If everyone went red, the aftermath would be just as deadly. You don't have to be God to understand why certain things exist. We have a chronological circle that allows the ecosystem to flow. Some humans eat meat, others eat plants. Some animals eat meat, others eat plants. And we also don't eat them all. Same with carnivores. They have certain preferences. Things they won't touch, like certain whales. They don't eat humans, despite the fact that they eat fish. And humans won't eat cats or squirrels, for instance, but will eat other things like chicken. It's why the entire population of the universe are hypocrites. We all have blood in our hands, including you, of course. You're also causing harm, one that can turn out worse than what we currently have if we converted every breathing soul to veganism, just like the path you're proposing. So like it or not, we eat animals to survive. They do the same. It's how the system is set up, and it's always been that way. You can't interfere with a higher power. You can point fingers all you want, but animals eating each other and humans has been the same since the fucking dinosaurs. There is no morally better way to go about it. The best we can do is minimize the damage. Both meat eaters and plant lovers all contribute in killing animals, just in different ways. Accept it. Now, her insane delusions doesn't end here. The reason I wanted to talk about the spaghettified corpse of a Neanderthal is because she decided to go after a 4-month-old baby. Not even kidding. A YouTuber by the name of Isaac made a video about it where he showed this clip.
You do one day, and I just want you to know that I was rooting for you, that I tried to help your parents to see that you had a right to maintain your vegan virginity. You were born so good and so pure, and it wasn't right of them to feed you corpses.
Fuck off is 1, and 2, hold on, let me check the script. Oh yeah, also fuck off. It's none of your business, and you have zero rights telling a dad how he should raise a newborn fetus when you can't even take care of yourself. Bitch's face looks like a sunburned raisin cinnamon roll, and her hair looks like a ponytail palm. This bamboo stick is built like a string bean, her hair is made out of a desert ice cream, she was born on the island of Jeffrey Epstein, she baptized her blackheads with gasoline, and she's the Jack the Skellington on Halloween. It's almost impossible to take one word of yours seriously when you're built like an HDMI cable. You're acting as if any being with a pulse not even so much as looks at a KFC shop isn't gonna get a D1 scholarship right to the hot section of Heaven's Gate. If I were you, I would stick to barking at a flower pot, cause let me tell you an even more shocking brainbuster that will have you snorting sea kelp and wiggling your teacups. Even fucking plants aren't vegan. Watch this. Let me ask you something. Did the Spuriana plant eat a living being? Yes.
Be vegan again, the way you were born.
You brain-dead homunculus. Babies drink milk so they can fucking grow. What do you mean they're born vegan? Like, are you dumb? Actually, let me fix that sentence. You're dumb. When you reach the point where you make Roll from Ed and Nettie look like the Incredible Hulk, I would highly and very politely ask you to please, with a cherry pepper on top covered in a triple gooberry sunrise, to go back into your coffin and maybe, you know, not come back. Thank you. Sponsored by the Joker. So while we're on the subject of placing people inside of an oversized Bounties bar, make sure to give that shiny red glowing subscribe button a sloppy smooch before I pull up into your bedroom and bend your mom on my knee and infiltrate her spleen like I'm trying to search for a diamond ore inside of the chest of gore. So what did we learn today, kids? Never take candy from strangers who look like an extinct dinosaur race. That's all I can muster out for today. See ya, bitches, and peace.
Yeah, my cup half full, but that's only cause of ice. If I want it, I'ma cop it, I ain't worried about the price. If you really, really care, then you shouldn't have left that night. Now you all about